This widow got pregnant in a minute, her belly as big as a basketball. She couldn't stand straight, barely leaning on the table. Later, the widow went to the hospital and gave birth. But when the doctor held the baby, whoa! The widow was stunned. It was a wooden baby. Surprisingly well behaved, not crying in the doctor's arms. It could float and had an iron head. The doctor, about to toss the baby, was stopped by the widow. She looked at the wooden baby as if it were a treasure. The doctor suggested discarding the child, but the widow didn't listen. She took the baby home instead. Since the baby couldn't move its mouth, she fed it scrambled eggs with a spoon. Single for 40 years, she always wanted a child. She'd shape steamed buns into babies. Even this wooden one made her happy. One day she saw a shooting star and quickly made a wish. The next moment, that star flew towards her. She quickly closed the windows, but the star flew in through the chimney. Seeing it on the dough, she was bewildered. Suddenly, the star moved again, emitting a golden white light. As she stared, mesmerized, the star suddenly zipped into her body. A strange force seemed to enter her stomach. From then on, whenever she reacted, her stomach did too. That's how our story began. The day after bringing the baby home, while cooking, she heard a baby's cry. She looked around, thinking it was her imagination. She sighed and continued cooking, but then the baby cried again. This time, she was sure it was real. She rushed to the baby and began gently peeling off the bark from its body. As Wayla plucked away, his expression grew increasingly joyful, his face beaming with happiness. Surprisingly, the wooden baby behind the bark was actually a chubby, white little one. The sight overwhelmed Wayla. He hugged the baby tightly, tears of joy streaming down his face. 20 years later, the baby grew up. Though mischievous and prone to trouble, he was otherwise normal. Notably, Dazhuang was kind-hearted, always sharing his ill-gotten gains with needy elderly folks. As a result, the older people in the community grew quite fond of him. Due to Dazhuang's generosity, groceries his mom sent him for often mysteriously diminished. One day, a witty girl caught Dazhuang's eye at a show. He instantly imagined their future together. Suddenly, a gas leak explosion sent Dazhuang flying across the theater. This accident, oddly enough, brought Dazhuang and the girl together. They quickly fell in love, but as TV viewers know, happy scenes don't last long unless it's a romance movie. Sure enough, shortly after falling in love, Dazhuang developed health issues.